Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and we'll kick off the Friday, July 21st card at Saratoga with our 2-year-old Spa Baby race. Going 5.5 furlongs on the Melon Turf course. It's a nice maiden special weight. Let's take a peek at this field as we kick off the 50-cent early pick 5. 8 in the body of the race. The 9 Foxhole, the 10 Sam's Treasure. Entered main track only. Wesley Ward has the morning line favorite. The 7 Same Old Fears. Jose Ortiz takes the mount, and we know that Ward is phenomenal with first-time starters.
Absolutely. He's one of those barns that you always look for success in this type of race. And this race, I think, is interesting because we always talk about horses who are sort of ready for the spot, the right now horses versus horses you circle and watch in the future. And I think this race is a good combination of those. We'll talk about some of the key candidates. And then as we get into the race, you'll see there are a couple in here with sort of more long distance type pedigrees, a lot of stamina in there that you might want to circle and watch out for when they come back later in the meet and have an opportunity to go 2 turns on the turf.
The number 1, Billy the Greek, ridden by Arad Ortiz, is a first-time starter. A Ramsey homebred by Golden Sense, trained by Safi Joseph. And this horse has some pedigree, a half-brother to a stakes-place turf miler named Beach Waltz. The Dam was a 2-year-old debut winner, and she's a half to bigger picture, a Grade 1 winner on the lawn.
Yeah, and Bigger Picture was a route type horse. Brood Sire Kitten's Joy, a route type horse. Now, being on turf is absolutely what this horse wants to do, being by the versatile Golden Sense, sire of horses like Turf Grade 1 winner going to Vegas, over a Kitten's Joy mare. Absolutely wants to be on the lawn, but I do want to see this one going a little bit longer.
None of these 2-year-olds have previously raced on turf, but the 2 Shards does have prior racing experience, and he ran very well in his career debut. He was bet down to 2-1 against Dickens, who came right back to run third in the Sanford opening week at Saratoga. This horse is by Bucaro, who has done well with limited opportunities, and as you see by that breeze, pretty fast.
Yeah, and you know what? Bucaro, a very good turf sprinter in his own right, a multiple graded stakes winner here, and then went over to run very well, very creditably at Royal Ascot. This is his second crop, and he was one of Florida's leading freshmen last year and did enough to be in the top 20 nationally with a very good winners from runners percentage. Certainly, you would think Shards would be able to transfer that decent form he showed on debut from dirt to turf.
Yes, good speed in the debut and a promising few workouts at Colonial Downs for a very underrated trainer, Kelsey Danner. And we have a formulator fact for Kelsey Danner. 2-year-olds, dirt to turf, no Lasix, 5 for 12, $5.25 return on investment. This barn does very well with this move. Louis Saez takes the call on the 2 Shards. The number 3 is Cowboy Code, and it's fair to say that Cowboy Code wasn't bet to his yearling price for his debut and run liked it. $1 million yearling by Into Mischief. He was 51-1 on dirt at Ellis Park and never really got out of first gear. Now he's going to try turf. Now he's going to get blinkers.
Yeah, and I think the blinkers should focus him a little bit. Sort of got off to a slow start on his debut and never got involved. That should move him forward from a fitness standpoint. And he came out of that debut where, as you said, he kind of never got out of first gear with some strong works. Fired a bullet at Churchill 2 back and then kind of a maintenance move, it looks like, locally. I always say I like when 2-year-olds come out of a debut, even a debut where they didn't do much running, and work strongly like that. I think it shows that the light bulb is going on. They're figuring out what the game is all about. And of course, Cowboy Code by Into Mischief, the great Into Mischief, very good 2-year-old sire, very versatile sire.
And it's fair to assume that he's been working with the blinkers, so that's a very promising development. And one of the also-rans in his debut, the 7th place finisher, did come back to immediately win on dirt at Ellis with a 52 buyer. The number 4 is Every 4 Years, one of 2 in here, trained by Christophe Clement. Every 4 years has some prior experience. This one is by Constitution, and he was bet hard for his debut, and he didn't get out of the gate very well and still rallied nicely to be third. It's a very strong family from a class perspective, and the Dam was a sprint winner on turf as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, just a beautiful family. It's that pedigree going all the way back to the great blue hen, Courtly D, and just countless standout horses in multiple countries on multiple surfaces from this family. And this is the crop of 2-year-olds that was conceived after Constitution's strong freshman season. And I always think that's a good handicapping angle to know when a young sire got a lot of support and what he might have in the pipeline. A lot is expected from these juveniles this year for Constitution. And this is another one who came out of the debut and has breezed very well in preparation for the second start.
Manny Franco takes the mount. We have a formulator fact for Christophe Clement regarding his 2-year-olds moving from dirt to turf in the second lifetime start. 5 of the last 14, $4.98 return on investment. The number 5 is Weekend Concerto. This is a son of Mendelssohn who sold up from $67,000 as a weanling to $130,000 in March. The dam was a multiple winner going long on the turf, and there's a big female family here.
Yeah, and another one with a lot of stakes winners in the female family. And Mendelssohn, the half brother to Into Mischief, actually, so beautifully bred, such a nice and versatile runner, winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and then placing in multiple Grade 1 events, running in the U.S. on dirt as a 3-year-old. He's another one where he's a young stallion. His progeny are shaping up to do a little bit of everything. This is another one, Weekend Concerto, who I'd like to circle and watch going a bit longer in the future.
Tyler Gaffalione takes the mount for trainer Michael Maker. The number 6 is Reverend Moon. This is the other 2-year-old in the race, trained by Christophe Clement. This is a Robert Evans homebred by a very hot first crop sire, Omaha Beach.
Yeah, Omaha Beach was a young sire who came in with all the tools to be a versatile stallion. He's a son of Warfront who has sired top-level performers on both dirt and turf. Omaha Beach himself ran well in some maiden races on turf early in his career before moving on to dirt, where he was a Grade 1 winner both sprinting and routing. He's the sire of 4 first-crop winners so far, including stakes place fillies on both the dirt and the turf. There's a lot of dirt in the female family for Reverend Moon, but I think Omaha Beach on top will balance that out and give him some turf ability.
Joel Rosario takes the mount on the 6, Reverend Moon. The 7 is Same Old Fears. This is our morning line favorite. And if you look at the pedigree and the connections, you can understand why. He's a half-brother to King of Miami, a stakes winner on the turf. The dam is a half-sister to Bound for Nowhere, who is a really good turf sprinter for Wesley Ward. And this one was a $435,000 buyback. So you'd expect some speed out of this daughter of Uncle Mo as she takes on the boys.
Yeah, and it's sort of at this stage in their careers when young horses are changing and developing so rapidly. I don't think that's a huge deal to see a filly taking on the boys, because if you have a filly who sort of came to hand early, she might be more mature than some of the colts at this stage of their development. This one, bred, owned, and trained by Wesley Ward, certainly familiar with the family, training that very good turf sprinter Bound from Nowhere. Familiar with turf sprinters by Uncle Mo with, Golden Pal in his barn in recent years. And man, the Uncle Mo's just run on anything, do anything. And that was really, exemplified last year when the Stallion's top runners were Golden Pal, a correct turf sprinter, and Mo Donegal, who won the 12 furlong Belmont Stakes on the dirt. Just an incredible young stallion.
Completing the horses of the body of the field, again, the 9 and the 10 are entered main track only. It's the 8 Anchises, and this is a son of Blame and a half-brother to Valdemoro, who is a juvenile Group 3 stakes-winning turf sprinter overseas. This one sold for $300,000 in March and has been working with Lamorna, who is running in one of our Spa Baby races earlier this week. So you might want to check out how Lamorna does before making your final decision on Anchises.
Yeah, and looking at Anchises, with the exception of Valdemoro and the pedigree there, who you pointed out, a lot of things about this pedigree say experience and distance to me, although I do very much like the progeny of Blame running on the turf.
Junior Alvarado takes the mount for the great Bill Mott. Top pick time for our Friday Spa Babies race as we kick off the card in the early 50-cent pick 5. Same exacta, different order, Nicole. You're going with experience, the 2 Shards moving to turf.
Yeah, I think, Same Old Fears, I very much respect coming out of the barn that she is coming out of with the pedigree and background and connections behind her. But I will go for the experienced horse to try to tip the scales and get a little bit of a price here. Not only does this horse have experience, was flattered by that experience when Dickens came back to run third in the Sanford on opening weekend. And this one moving dirt to turf, being by Bucaro, that very good turf sprinter. I like that angle with this horse.
I'm definitely going to use your top pick, the number 2 Shards in the early pick 5, along with my selection, the 7 Same Old Fears, Wesley Ward homebred, owner, breeder, trainer. It's a no-brainer for the 7 Same Old Fears. 2746 for Nicole, 7264 for me. It's the Friday, July 21st edition of Spa Babies. Best of luck.